So a new update just dropped on Hypixel's alpha server, and today we're going to take a look at what it has in store. And to be honest, this is a pretty interesting one. Now when we go to Century, the featured items are relatively limited. You can see there's the return of the Dungeon Breaker pickaxe, an alternative to Stonking, the Frozen Scoot, which is used to upgrade Armadillo pets to Mythic, and then also the Spider Shortbow and the Mosquito Shortbow. Now, the Dungeon Breaker is pretty prevalent. However, really, I think we need to go to the forums to see what has actually changed in this Hypixel alpha update. And here we are, 0.23.5 release candidate, Pity Ironman W's QOL. I'll leave a link to this in the description if you want to take a look at it for yourself. So let's have a look. Hello. Today on the Alpha Network, we are testing the Skyblock 0.23.5 update. This update introduces a brand new pity system, the Ironman W's update, and some high impact quality of life QOL changes, and the previously tested Dungeon Breaker. Okay, so there's a new command which is now /pity. And this /pity command is obviously going to be somewhat similar to the /RNG command, which shows your RNG meters. We have now added a pity system to the game, the details of which can be found within the /RNG menu or by directly typing /pity. Going forward, we aim to utilise pity systems in areas of content where an RNG meter might not necessarily make sense due to their small scale, but where bad luck can be particularly punishing / frustrating. Meters may still be used going forward for large pieces of content with a variety of desirable drops. The following areas of the game are currently included in the new pity system, with more potentially being added in the future. Our goal is for the system to primarily be used for drops that are part of an overreaching / intended progression of the game. In other words, those which you are expected to get on a functional as opposed to a social level, such as certain drops required for parts of Hina's chapters. Ah, okay, well, that's actually really nice because, yeah, I really struggled to get the fish at the end of Hina's chapters. Anyway, let's move on. So, migrated existing trophy fish pity to this menu. Cool. Glaciate tunnels, migrated existing glaciate mineshaft spawn pity to this menu. Also cool. In the garden, every 3,000 visitor is now guaranteed to be a spaceman. Okay, also cool. I guess you have to be, you know, the appropriate garden level to actually spawn the spaceman in for that to happen, but anyway. Property, importantly, is included here. Every 500 eggs is guaranteed to be a mythic rabbit. Every 2,500 eggs is guaranteed to be a divine rabbit. Okay, this is a good change. Moonglade Marsh. Every 2,500 treasure is guaranteed to be treasure of the fish. Finally. Every 2,500 mob kill is guaranteed to be mob the fish. Finally. And so on for 5,000 kills with the tree of the fish. Numbers are subject to change throughout the alpha period. Pity will be retroactively applied, which is also really good. So let's go ahead, test this out, and see what this really means. But just before we do, if you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store, make sure to use code NITROS as it gets yourself 5% off. If you watch the videos and you aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure to do so. And also, you should join the Discord server. It's linked in the description of this video. We offer slayers and dungeon carries, so if you need carries or want to carry and make some coins, make sure to join. Okay, so we're just going to try it /pity. That is just like the most butchered /pity I've ever seen. Okay, and here we have the menu. The menu that we were basically just describing as we read through the forum. So, in the Crimson Isles pity menu, we have all of the trophy fish, which is cool. You should be able to... You know what? I feel like this is a change, which is really good that it's been made. However, this should always have been a thing. We should always have had this. This should have been a feature that we had right at the start. But anyway... But regardless of that, that's nice. We can finally see what our progress is towards all of our trophy fish. For me, it doesn't really matter too much on my main profile because I've got Diamond Trophy Hunter, so it's irrelevant for me, but it's good for everybody else who hasn't. In the garden, you can see your progress towards the Spaceman, which is, you know, cool. Good, once again. Glaciate tunnels, you can see your progress towards mine shafts, which is also good. Properties hunt, you can see your progress towards mythic and divine rabbits. Once again, a feature that always should have been in the game. But anyway. And then we can see our progress towards fish the fish, mob the fish, and tree the fish. And I will assume if this is implemented into the game, because of course this is only on the alpha, it might not even get into the game. I assume it will though, because it's a good change. I assume going forward there's going to be way more things added into this /pity menu. But anyway, /pity overall is a really good change. However, I must say, this should have always been in the game. But anyway, let's move on and see what else is in this update. Ironman W's. Included in this update are a few improvements in and around Ironman profiles. Ironman Shen's Auction. Ironman profiles now participate in a Shen's Auction completely separate from normal profiles to help even the playing field, although there is a reduced quantity of items available. Any items earned through Ironman's Shen's auction are automatically soulbound. Normal profile conversion. Convert to normal profile. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Okay, this is huge. This is insane. This is... Wow, okay. That's massive. So, solo profiles are now able to convert the Ironman profiles into normal profiles if they so choose. This can be done through the profile management menu. Once you declare that you want to convert your profile to a normal one, you'll have to wait 30 days to give a final confirmation that you want to convert it. If you ever want to cancel during the 30 days, you'll need to restart the cooldown all over again. Ironman co-ops are also able to convert to normal co-ops, but the process is a little different. Each person has 3 days to vote once someone starts the process in the profile management menu. If at any point someone votes no or doesn't vote in time, the conversion process fails. If every member of the co-op votes yes, however, the 30-day wait begins. If at any point during those 30 days someone has second thoughts, they can go back to the profile management menu and stop the process entirely. We would like to once stress that this system was designed to prevent impulsive decisions. A normal profile cannot be turned back into an Ironman profile under any circumstances. Make sure you really want to convert it. This is absolutely huge, and I don't really know how to feel about it. I mean, I think personally it's a cool idea. I think it's right that you're not able to turn a normal profile into an Ironman, because then you're basically just claiming that you've done all of this work. You could claim you've done all of this work on an Ironman profile, and it obviously hasn't been done on Ironman, so that makes sense. And also, I think that's also a good idea with the fact with the 30-day sort of grace period where people can sort of go back on the word if they think they made a bad decision. Overall, I think, in my opinion, it's a good change. However, I think some people might have other reservations about that. But it is opinion-based. I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments. At the end of the day, if someone on an Ironman profile wants to turn their profile into a regular profile, I don't see any issue with it, just purely because they've already worked for all of those items themselves. It's not like they could have bought those items. Yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, it's good. Who knows? Cosmetics tab in AH. We've replaced the blocks tab in the auction house with the Cosmetics tab for normal profiles. Most of the things found in the blocks tab can now be found under the Tools and Miscellaneous tab. Makes sense. Ironman players, now opening the auction house menu, will be greeted with the Cosmetics browser, which allows them to purchase most of the items found in the new Cosmetics tab. Ironman players are not able to sell items here, only purchase. Well, that's interesting. That's very interesting, because Ironman players weren't able to really access the auction house at all previous to this. But now they can buy cosmetics. Interesting. I guess it is just cosmetics, so it's not like they're gaining any sort of competitive advantage. So I guess it's not really an issue. But that's pretty cool as well. As a side note, the Ironman Bazaar now allows you to buy a custom amount of booster cookies rather than any of the preset amounts like before. Okay, that should have been a thing anyway. Dwarven Ironman Guild. Okay. The area above spawn in the Dwarven Mines has been revamped into this space for the Dwarven Ironman Guild. This area has a few NPCs that introduce players to Ironman profiles, and one of the NPCs even allows you to create an Ironman profile directly through this menu. Okay. So if you spawn into the Dwarven Mines, turn around and go straight up behind you, and here is the area. I guess this is kind of cool for players that are new and don't really know too much about Ironman. You can come here and kind of learn about Ironman to see if you want to start one, which is, you know, a pretty good implementation for the really early players who don't really know what it is. Cool. Quality of life changes too. We've got dungeons, we've got changes to Thorn Shards, now drops exclusively from Master Mode Floor 4, 100% of the time in Emerald chests or above. Okay. Added a Scarf Shard, drops exclusively from Master Mode Floor 2, 100% of the time in Emerald chests or above. Okay, also cool. Well, the Scarf Shard grants up to 20% more dungeon class XP as well. Very cool. Things for farming too. Doubled the pest damage buff provided by Praying Mantis Shard. Cool. Field mice are now elusive mobs. Okay. Replace the mosquito's pet Fool Me Once perk with the new one. Bloodsucker's Betrayal. Effect, pest traps worked up to 20% faster. Okay, cool too. If you participated in multiple farming contests, you'll now receive the best medal out of the crops you farmed. Yes, I don't understand why this also should have always been a thing, in my opinion. I feel like that's just how it should have been. Changes to fishing. The bobbing time ultimate enchantment changes. It's going down to a max of 5 players rather than 10. But then its stats are being buffed. So I guess overall that's, I don't know, maybe it works out in a sort of similar. I think it's a good change overall, really. In effect, you get the same stats as before, but with half as many players. Yeah, that makes sense. Ember Armor's Netherlord ability is now disabled near fishing hotspots. Okay. Added raw cod to the fishing merchant, adjusted the totem of corruption to now count as deployable and only corrupt sea creatures that you spawn. I think that's good. Okay, for foraging, we've got a load of new items added to the foraging sack. I was completely confused as to why they weren't in the foraging sack anyway, so that's good. Added a lot of new items to the bazaar as well, which is also good. And Shellwise pandas and joy dives now have a faster respawn. Okay, that could be good for making some money. It'll make the shards not as rare though, so... Holy, there is a lot of changes to mining. The armadillo pet, the travel scrolls, mithril powder buffs. Oh, mithril powder buffs. Okay, well, this is surely only good, because mithril powder at the moment is horrendous. We're getting more mithril powder from the raffle, goblin raid, mithril gormand, and also commissions. This is brilliant. This is actually really good. Thank you. There's a ton of other changes, like a ton of other changes and bug fixes. If you want to go ahead and, you know, read through them for yourself, then like I said, I'll leave a link to this in the description so you can do so. Of course, the Dungeon Breaker is on this alpha too, but aside from that, I don't think there's any crazy new content. It's more just changes, in my opinion, for the better to existing content. Just the little things like adding things that weren't already in the sack to the sack. That were annoying, that would just fill up your inventory and you'd have to store somewhere or sell to the NPC or whatever. That's good. Buffing the rate at what you get, at which you get mithril powder, is something that it had to be done. Because at the moment, mithril powder is an absolute joke. Can't stand the way mithril powder is at the moment. The fact that not only do you have to get so much less mithril powder than you do gemstone powder, but the fact that it takes so much longer. It's insane. I know recently on the Ironman profile, only got max of both powder, and I think it took him maybe 3 or 4 times longer to get max mithril powder than it did max gemstone powder. And you've got to bear in mind that max mithril powder is 12.5 mil, whereas gemstone is 20 mil. So you're getting almost double the powder, and it's taking you 3 or 4 times the amount of time. It's insane. This is good. You know, increasing and buffing the rates of mithril powder is good. Ultimately, I think it will probably still need to be buffed more, because I still think it might lack a bit. But this is a step in the right direction. But if I'm being completely honest, for the most part, I think the pity system should have always been a thing. A lot of these changes are good, you know, quality of life changes, but the things that should already be in the game. Nothing crazy and new. Obviously, the Dungeon Breaker is something else, but we've had this so many times in the alpha now that I don't think there's even any point in going over it. But all in all, I'd say that this alpha is a W. There's many good features in my opinion. There's a couple of questionable ones, but let me know what you think in the comments. Overall, I think it's good. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.